Howdy. I realized I haven't been recording any updates since Monday, and today is the last day of March 31st, Sunday, Easter 24. And I took my GoPro each day to the job, but I showed you guys the pickup trucks I drove, so I wanted to show you the inside and the operation of the Freightliner, which of course, is a much bigger truck. But I don't think I got to drive the M2 Freightliner this week. It was all either a Ram 3500 or Ford F350. They still work fine. I still like the pickup, you know how Ford 350 picks up speed. It just feels more powerful. I don't know. But yeah, it was a short week. So we only worked Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And Friday was holiday. And then I think some guys were told to come to work this Saturday. But when I asked the dispatcher, he says, no, it's okay. You go home. We'll see you Monday morning. And so Monday we are working, even though some people still have it off, right? As a long weekend for the Easter. Some people have it like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, right? But in my case, I only got 3 days off, so today's the last day off. Tomorrow it's back at work. I gotta be there at 6:45. That's the official start of my shift. But I have the GoPro fully charged, and the plan is when they give me something like a scissor lift to deliver or pick up, that's what normally you require a flatbed truck with a tilt and load bed. If it's like scaffolding or small generators or even propane tanks, or heaters, we just use the pickup trucks, And I do enjoy driving those, like I mentioned. So I got my first paycheck on Thursday, but it was still a partial paycheck because, normally you get a week of cutoff, right? Like, let's say if you're working from September 1st, and your paycheck is on 15th, then they're not gonna pay you for 2 weeks, right? So they're gonna pay you for the last week, in this case, let's say in August, and then first week in September, and then there's always a week cutoff. They don't pay you for the week right before the payday, right? And that's why in my case, I got only partial pay, but this was, nice change from my DoorDash and Uber, so now I don't have to do that at least. Like, actually, I tried today. I went to get a lens at a store some 20 clicks away, and just to compensate for the gas, I did one small delivery with Uber, made $8. Yes, so my gas was free. So some guy texted me from US asking if it was okay to send me some questions about brokering. And he says he's a driver. Okay, so I said, yeah, okay. It was Saturday. I said, yeah, I'm free. So if you want to give me a call, give me a call. And he calls me and he's asked me a couple of questions, and he shifts the topic to me being the boss of some guys. Like, he says, we can give you some guys to work for, but they're overseas, like in Europe. Specifically, I think he mentioned Belarus or Ukraine. I think Belarus. And he says they're experienced with over there. They do export import. They do freight brokering in their country, but they want to get to this market. And he said, would you be interested to hiring some people to work for you? But they would be working from home from Belarus. I said, no, thank you, but no. First off, I said, I have a job during the day, so, I get occasional load that I broker as a freight broker. So I said, that's enough for me. I don't want to deal with headaches of, hiring people, especially since they're overseas, and especially in the light of this armed conflict between Russia and Ukraine, where Belarus is on the side of Russia. So basically that request was declined. And my electrician friend, the one I told you guys about, who wanted to change his careers, texted me asking if I want to go for lunch. So again, we found a nice Indian buffet place, not too far from him, not too far from me. And we went and had some nice meal. And he was telling me how he wants to get a big pickup diesel truck, just like what I'm driving at work, like F350. And he wants to get, as they call them in Britain, caravan or RV trailer, as we call them here. And he wants to go and do some vacationing, So now he's trying to price out a slightly used Ford F350. Now, speaking about freight brokerage, I am working on a few loads. My former customer sent me a request. He has a couple of loads for AGN and power only from Michigan to New Brunswick. They're not that very heavy, like 68,000 pounds is one, 62 is another. These are for RGN trailers. Just slightly over width and over height, but then there's two loads, the same machine but smaller on its own chassis, but these ones require a hitch. And I think one was 42,000 pounds, like total weight of the machine with the trailer, but the other one was like 70,000 pounds. So you need a pretty strong hitch, and I know from experience it's very difficult to find somebody with a hitch, like very rarely people put hitches on semi-trucks. Normally it's a pickup truck alley, so to speak. But that's what I got. So working on those, so far I only got one interested carrier. So I'm waiting to get at least two more so I can get a competitive quote to the customer. But so yeah, I still have my freight brokerage. I have not given it up. I still have all my subscriptions. Everything is, working and licensed. Everything is good. So if I have a quote request, I'm working. I'm happy to work on those because, it's a good application of my knowledge and skills, and plus you can get, you can make some good money. Now, I applied for two pretty interesting jobs this week. One was a landscaping company looking for a Class 1 driver, or CDL driver, basically truck and trailer, but landscaping, so you're gonna be moving some soil or whatever stuff, some rocks, whatever they use when doing landscaping around houses. But what's interesting about that job was that they also required skid steer experience, because I'm guessing the driver would be loading the trailer by himself and then offloading by himself with a skid steer. And I was really interested in that one because, I do have some skid steer experience and wheel loader training, right? And plus the driver, and they were offering, I think, $29 an hour. Plus some overtime, so I applied for that one, never heard back. But that was right, I think Friday or Thursday, basically during these holidays, right? And then another interesting job I saw that I applied right away was, there's a company, like local company here, they deal with B trains. And B trains, it's two short trailers, flatbed trailers, but they have a fifth wheel between them. And so I tried a B train only once when I went to that Eaton testing grounds when they asked me to do a video about the new transmission, automated transmission or automatic. And I remember I drove a B train, and they said the gross weight was 200,000 pounds. So it was no big deal. That thing, I found quickly, it goes around corners much better than a single 53-foot trailer because everything articulates, you know. The only difficult thing would be to back the entire thing because you have, you know, two trailers. You have like, what, two points of articulation, right? One between the truck and the first trailer, and then the second between the first trailer and second trailer. So it's not easy, but quite often you can just pull somewhere in, you know, so go straight forward. Right? So, and these guys, the best part is that it's regional work. You don't go to US, and they promise that the driver will be home every weekend, and the pay is pretty good. And all these B trains, they have a Conestoga on them. So like when you have to tarp, there's no manual tarping, right? So you just pull that, you know, tarping thing off and then on, and you're done. I think they mentioned they go anywhere like within Alberta and then Saskatchewan, occasionally BC, Manitoba, basically just Western Canada, you know. And if you're on the road only 1 week, you know, that would be awesome. But again, I saw this one on Friday, so I applied. Of course, it's the holidays, so I haven't heard back. But one thing that might be against me is that they required 3 years of B-train experience. And of course, I don't have 3 years, but I have 17 of overall trucking experience. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that one. So I was lazy with exercises this past week, but today got up at 7, went for a 15-minute run, then did some basic, like a shortened version of kettlebell with a couple of bench presses, bent rows, and squats. So feeling good. Current weight 187 pounds. So 7 more pounds to go. Need to get to 180 so that I'm technically not overweight. Now my channel statistics got really better again ever since I changed the course back to the trucking. The typical views before, when I was just doing all kinds of videos about my life, were 95,000 a month. Now they went up to 140,000. And the revenue in March climbed to $883.69 US. I gained 68 subscribers. And the total number of subscribers as of today, March 31st, is 67,276. Now, for comparison, when I had my semi-multi-axle rig, monthly views were around 400,000, and my monthly revenue varied between 3,000 US and 5,000 US a month. And at one point, again, when I was trucking in my Kenworth, the subscriber count came real close to 70,000, but it never reached it. I think at one point I was at 69,900. But again, never reached 70,000 people, but still was making good money. I was happy to do it. I love making videos for you guys. And like I said, now I'm just waiting to get into that Freightliner to show you trucking from the standpoint of a Freightliner driver. And by the way, some people keep asking stupid questions about, like you're watching the videos and then you complain that I'm making the videos on the company's time. First off, nobody's taking up any time from the company because, as you might see in those videos that I posted about my job, the scenery is moving, right? It's not like I stop on the truck for 20 minutes and I do a video. I'm working. The camera operation and hands-free, so the only thing I'm doing different as opposed to just driving is I'm talking to the camera, right? I'm talking to you guys, describing something or telling a story, but I'm working, right? Then when I stop, I switch the camera off. Let's say I offload or load, and then I can switch the camera back on. So the work does not suffer. Like there's nobody's taking company's time to make videos. It's my own time. When I'm driving, I can be listening to radio, I can be listening to music. How is that different? Same thing, I'm using my working time same way as I would if I was not recording a video. So anyway, the other thing I did today, I decided to get a new lens for my Nikon. Drove 20 kilometers to the store only to find out that the credit card I had like a specialized credit card for camera gear. I got it in Ontario when I lived in Ontario, but turns out it's not a personal account, it's a business account. And I'm like, what do you mean? It doesn't have my name on it? It has some company name on it? He says, no, it has your name on it, but it says it's a business account, and our store cannot work with business accounts. So you would have to either convert it to a personal account or open a new account with this financial company. So now I just came back, without the lens, but they have it in stock. The price is okay, it's brand new. So the store is a Nikon dealer in Calgary. So the lens comes with full warranty. So now again, Monday, many businesses are still going to be closed, but we are working. And so I'm thinking Tuesday I'll have to call this financial company in Ontario and see what's going on with my account so that I can buy that lens. And then when I was doing that Uber, I did that short trip just to compensate for the gas, because gas is getting up there. It was a few months ago, it was like $1.25 per liter, and now it's like $1.54. It keeps climbing up, just a regular gas. Diesel fuel seems not to be as affected with all these recent developments with carbon taxes and stuff, but gas, man. And so I made at least $8 to compensate for the trip. 20 kilometers one way, 20 back. That's 40 kilometers. That's probably about 4 liters of gas, 1 gallon. And then my phone rings, and it's this guy Umberto. If you remember the story when his truck burned down. So he found another truck, but he still cannot take possession because he still has not received a payment from the financial company from his burned truck. It takes a very long time, but he already put down a down payment on a I think it's Kenworth. Yeah, he put down a security deposit on a Kenworth 660, just a regular, drive and truck with a tandem in the back. So the truck is his, but he cannot pick it up because he hasn't received the money, so he cannot finalize the thing. So yeah, these things take a very, very long time. And also another thing he decided to do is he doesn't want to go back to Landstar, because Landstar takes a very long time because his contract expired, right? If you don't do any loads during 1 month, you need to do at least 1 load, so your contract expires and you have to go through the same initiation, again. And he said when he was getting hired, it took him 2 months. There's so much paperwork they require, it's a lot of bureaucracy with Landstar to get started. And so now he found another American company that hires Canadian drivers, and they have slightly less or fewer loads, but they allow you to use load boards. So you can look for loads yourself and then just get the broker from this company book that load for you, and they will still pay you, the percentage. But with this company, it looks like the sign-on process is quicker, but you cannot just Sorry about that, something like my computer almost went to sleep. But with this company, you need to have a trailer as well. You cannot just join with a bobtail, you know, just with a POW only, as you know, the way you can with Landstar, right? You can just buy like a used truck, and they pay you 65%, and then you pull their trailers, right? With this other company, you need to have either a flatbed or a step deck or RGN, but probably a step deck is more versatile. So those are my news. So yeah, tomorrow back to work. Hopefully I'll get to drive that Freightliner M2 super powerful truck, and we'll be able to do a video about that one.